All right, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Burnout, Hiding in Plain Sight. I am excited to be here with you today. I'm going to just check and make sure this video is showing up where it's supposed to show up, and it is showing up. There it is. Great. All right. So everything seems to be technologically working the way it's supposed to. So let's just get into this chat for a little while, right? Um, so, my commitment is to think about the ways that burnout can be hiding from us or can show up even when we don't expect it, right? And sometimes when we get to that place where we are burned out, it feels so heavy that we wonder if things can really get better. So that's our topic, for today. It's part 4 in this series I've been doing called Burnout, What's on the Other Side. And this is like, right, this is like that feeling that, is there really another side? Like, can I ever get out of this? And I want to talk about one of the reasons people feel that way, that can I get out of it or is it just permanent, right? Is it like I'm just going to be in and out of this? Because often that's what happens, right? People feel the sense of overwhelm, and they know they're moving slower than they usually do. They're not performing at their usual best, and they try to make things better, and they maybe even get a little better, but then they sort of just, the next time they hit that spot, it feels even lower than it was the last time they were there, right? So I'll just talk a little bit about, like, from my own personal story, about one of the reasons we can end up in that place of wondering why it's not getting better, or if it could really get better, is because we're taking action, but the actions don't seem to be working, right? It seems like we're drinking the green drinks, we're going to yoga, we're running, we're meditating, we're doing these things, but we are not feeling really better. Maybe we do for a little while. So here's my story. When I burned out, I knew I was excessively stressed, right? Because at the point that I sort of the project came to like a culmination, like the best it could be, I was like, all of a sudden, I was like nervous all the time, right? And then I got really nervous one day, right? And when I felt this in myself, like the pressure was mounting to get this thing done, and I felt myself feeling under pressure, I started going to yoga more. I was like, okay, I did one class today. Maybe over the weekend, I'll do a couple. So I was doing more yoga. But here's how this works. Let's just say this, you see, I'm one of the green drink crew people, right? So I got this nice little thing. And it has these marks on here. You can't really see them here. It has these marks that tell me how much is a cup, how much I actually have in here. So let's just say I start up here with this energy and I'm working, doing all the things every day. And then as I'm using this energy, I'm using it. And then I go to yoga, right? And then, okay, I get right back up to here. But then there's just so much going on in my life that I'm using. And now I drop down here a little bit below where I went to yoga, right? Then I go to yoga again. So I go to yoga, I get back up here, I feel a little bit better, but then bam, right? So often our energy expense, right? What we have to give to make everything happen in our lives is just too great for what we're doing to put something back into us. And when we keep trying to put something back into it and it doesn't work, we actually start to wonder, can it ever work? Will it ever work? And well, here I sit, right? And here sit thousands of other people who have been burned out and recovered. So recovery is possible. What we have to begin to do is to recognize, right? Oh shoot, I'm still dropping, right? It's not enough, right? So if I really want my cup to stay full, somehow I have to begin to recognize how to sort of keep this full, right? And what's my range where I don't want to get below? And that's one of the things we actually lose when we burn out, is that inner awareness about what we have to give, right? Because we'll say, okay, I went to yoga, I feel a little better. I feel a little better. This is my pattern. I go to yoga, I feel a little better. Okay, let me jump back in, right? And I jump back into something that requires a lot more energy than what I've been able to put into myself. So some researchers would say that we've not gotten to that place of deep rest that allows us to heal. Now, this is one of the reasons that I've personally fallen in love with yoga nidra and qigong, right? Particularly yoga nidra because it helps me to get deep into rest. And for me, after having practiced qigong for so many years, there are some postures that just help me to really slow myself down and gather energy. So one of the reasons we feel this challenge is because we've gotten so depleted that we haven't put enough back in to feel like our whole selves again. So this recovery process requires us to reclaim our own awareness of what our body is telling us. I want you to just get this, that when you feel exhausted and you've tried and then right, sometimes you get mad, why can't I, right? And you say, why am I feeling tired? Now, here's something else that can happen when people burn out. They say, Shh, I'm just gonna have to ignore that. Let me just get some coffee, right? So what happens? We get a little energy and we crash. So I want to just impress that we lose that awareness of our own body signals. And then sometimes we also start to ignore them because there's so much to do and we're trying to just get back on track. So just realize, first of all, burnout isn't a quick fix kind of thing. That because we've lost our awareness of like how our body's signaling us, it's really important that we just start to get back in touch with how we speak to ourselves. Like, how does your body let you know when like it's really time? So when you get to this place where you feel really burned out, you need support also to get through it. It's easy, right? At some point, I was like, "Yeah, I'm just not. I'm going to yoga. I'm doing the things." And now I'm at the point where my body said, "Nope, you can't work. You got to really rest," right? So I created a plan, worked with my physician, pulled my team of people together who would help, watch over things for me when I couldn't watch over things at my usual pace, and took some time and took care of myself. And many neuroscientists talk about the benefits of yoga when we are very depleted. So yoga was my go-to at that point. It was how I found my voice again. It was how I started to find my purpose again. I disconnected from everything. So I just want to say that the starting point out of this wondering is just to really trust what your body is saying to you. Trust what your mind is saying. And it's hard because sometimes you're so overwrought that you can't really hear yourself. So it does require you to just slow down and trust that whatever you're experiencing in that moment is a signal to help you start to think what's going to help you get better. So yoga became a part of my because I know it heals, right? So I that became a part of the process. I worked with my physician. I got some supplements. I got these things, and I took some time off. And in that time off, I went deeper into yoga, deeper into my healing process, and then right, that was how I got started to reconnect into my body, reconnect into my purpose. So once I have this purpose, right? Like, so that's how this question um, that I ask myself in times of extreme stress, what does this have to do with who I came to the world to be? That's how that was born. It was born out of my burnout experience. So what I want you to also get is as dark as it can feel, as dark as it can feel, on the other side of it, when you move through burnout and to the other side, you now have a new set of tools that help you to keep from sliding so deep back down into this place where you don't have much, you get a little, and then you drop down below it, right? So trust what your body is saying, right? That's really the first tip. And then recognize that burnout recovery is not something you have to do on your own. You can do it with other people. Um, there's great resources. My friend Kate has a great podcast called Fried the Burnout Podcast. Just like if you just want to listen to people talk about their stories and talk about tools that help them and things that work, that's a great resource, right? To help you just start thinking through what might work for you. There are people like me, and I have colleagues who work with people to help them move through burnout recovery. So there's resources for you to move through it. The first thing is just to be aware that that inner wisdom, that those signals from your body are helping you to actually start to map out your plan. Once you map out that plan, you move through healing your body, healing your nervous system, beginning to be able to hear how your emotions speak to you, Hear how your thoughts are speaking to you. Hear what your body tells you so that you can create plans that work for you, right? Excuse me, there's a annoying sound coming from my phone. So I think that's where what I'd like you to have, right, for today is that sense that yes, it can feel like it's impossible, but burnout is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of you writing a new chapter, writing a new way of living. So once I got through the burnout on the other side and I had used yoga and all the things I know to help me, I also became a yoga teacher. And then I started to find my voice in a whole new way. And I would get these notes from people in class about, like, wow, how much my voice was helping them, how much things I said. And it would be like simple things. It could be something as simple as beautiful, beautiful change, right? Um, Beautiful stretch. It could be something like that, right? Great movement. Yeah. Great adjustment, right? Or beautiful adjustment. Somebody make an adjustment in their posture and they move just a little bit. So what I saw in the yoga class was that those small movements helped me to create change. And that is another message for today. Is those small movements are going to help you make the change. And what I had to do was take the yoga that I was doing on the mat off the mat into my life and trust myself to make those small changes that are going to make a big difference as time goes on. And you can do that too. So once again, I'm Dr. Sandra, and I am a personal energy strategist and a clinical psychologist. I work with people and organizations who want to reduce burnout and reignite their power to make the difference that really matters to them, whether that's in their career, their families, their community, wherever it is, there's something calling you. And burnout can actually help you figure out how to get deeper into that calling and out of those patterns and processes that seem to keep us stuck in stress, right? I'm just going to look and see if there's any comments over here. I can't see all the comments like from some of these destinations sometimes because this stream is going to like my Facebook page, it's going to YouTube, it's going to LinkedIn, I hope. But I will check them later, right? So if there are any questions today, thank you for joining me. I can see a few people here. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you next time. I'll post on social media when I'm doing this again. All right. And feel free, again, leave me some questions, leave me some thoughts, and I will be happy to reply to you. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I says, thank you. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining me. All right. All right, everybody. Have a great day.